Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters. And seriously, what a couple of weeks this has been. I don't know what it was about long legs and I guess these lists, but I all I can say to you guys is thank you. We have shot up immensely. Before I put that video out, we were at what 2,600
I think somewhere
subscribers.
around there. Yep.
Yeah, and like that was, obviously we love that. We were super stoked about it. We were like freaking out when we got 100 subscribers, but like we have just hit 5K this past week. I think on Monday we crossed it, and instead of doing the posts like I've been doing, we wanted to do something a little bit more formal because this is a milestone. This is a YouTube milestone. I think like anytime someone hits 5K, that's a big deal. Like in the YouTube space or creative space, that's insane.
Definitely. I mean, we've talked about it when we've done update videos and things like that. And I don't even remember what our initial goals were, but it was like, I think our idea was within the first year, if we could hit like 1,000, my gosh, how great would that be? And then here we are, only what, a couple years into it, and we're already at 5K. So, you know, when we put this together, like we said, it was just kind of going to be a casual thing. Like, we'll see if it takes off. If it doesn't, no big deal. We like discussing horror anyway. But here we are sitting at 5K and still growing. And,
Yeah.
uh, we love what we do in terms of, getting these screeners and things like that. But, now having a bigger platform like this, I think this does open us up for, so many other avenues that, in terms of things that we've been wanting to create. And it's like, well, let's get over the hump, and then we can start putting out other content. And I think, this just opens up so many avenues for us, and we thank you so much, because now we have an even bigger audience that's, going to be checking out our list, going to be checking out so many smaller things that we've had that we hoped to get off the ground. And it was just like, okay, we have to put a pin in it and kind of push forward and get out the other content that we do have. But, what an exciting time, because this does give us that luxury of, hey, we're going to have more eyeballs on these things. And hopefully, just like the list, other things will catch.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been getting a lot of feedback in this video, and the views on everything have just it's been kind of insane. Like, I mean, we average normally. I think before this, a really solid review for us would be like in the first week if we got, like 200 to 300 views. Like that's kind of the trajectory we had for a while. But you guys have just been showing up for everything. I mean, like all of our videos have done really well. Even our Star of Acre review, that's at not even a day old, and it's sitting at 258 views, which is, not to just make it all about views and all that stuff. There's a lot more to this, but like, I mean, it's just gratifying to feel like, we finally hit something that seems to resonate with you guys. And I feel like we got a lot more of like a wider net cast, because it's the hardest thing I would say so far about doing this is just the pitfalls of YouTube is just you're just experimenting, you're working on things you want to do, which the things you love, but sometimes those things don't work, and sometimes YouTube buries that. So it's just kind of been invigorating to see not just the list videos, but our reviews and things are getting a lot more love and appreciation from a wider net. YouTube hasn't completely buried us, which is always positive, I should say. But I think the big thing too, not to make this like a whole year in review, but like the thing that I've loved about this as well is just the sense of community it feels like we're building. I mean, like, we do our, bi-weekly podcast with Evan from Rockland Graves and Alex from Beyond the Void Horror Podcast, Beyond the Splatter Graves, of those of you who may not know, with those guys. And like, it's just so much fun. Like, I love sitting there with them. We have so many familiar faces who show up every week and just talk horror news with us. We've been getting a lot more guests on. And I think like that's been also just a huge plus for us. And like, I can't thank you guys enough for, making that available to us. Because if nobody showed up, then I don't know what we would do. Like the show would get very boring very fast, I feel like. But no, you guys do that. And I mean, it's just honestly been kind of a crazy couple of weeks. And like just reflecting on all this has has just been wild.
Yeah, it's, we never, like we said, we never would have dreamed we'd be this far into it, only 2 years in. And just an amazing, 2 week ride here of just the growing of the channel and opening up those avenues. So, and that sense of community, like Dylan's talking about, of being able to get that feedback and get others' opinions on, maybe this should make a list or that should make a list, or you should do this and that would interest me, just being able to get that feedback because, sometimes when you're first starting out, you don't really know what people are looking for and you don't really have that community unless, you strike gold with your first few videos. It usually takes time. But now I think we're kind of getting into that space of we're learning what people want to talk about and what our subscribers like. And, just building an even stronger connection, I think, with people who check out our videos. So, it's such an exciting time. Sure, it's great to, be getting more and more subscribers, but actually getting those voices heard and knowing
Yeah,
what everyone wants to talk about and what interests them. And I mean, our brains have been going for the past 2 weeks of what kind of content we can make and produce. We got a lot of great stuff lined up. So, a lot of big things that we're going to be talking about here probably in a second, but just the opportunities that we've gotten, and the connections we've made with other people on YouTube. It's just a wonderful time. And again, we never would have guessed that this is where we'd be sitting right now.
absolutely. And I will get into some of that now because obviously the overwhelming feedback, not just views but comments, like Luke has been saying, has just been, you guys really like these lists, especially the ones that I did with the long legs video and the Maxine video, where I went through and recommended some movies that might go with the themes of a new release. I'm gonna keep doing that. That was kind of an idea that I've had for probably like 4 or 5 months before I made those videos, and I had been kind of batting it around, and I knew I wanted to do it for long legs, but Maxine just kind of came out of I did the long legs list, and I had so much fun doing it that I was like, oh, well, I could do this for Maxine, and then that spun into a couple other upcoming releases, and I thought, well, we'll see where this goes. So that is going to be a constant thing. I'm going to try my best to do it. If I'm never going to try to force it, if I can't come up with something intriguing or at least an angle that I don't feel is going to be worthy or really fun, I'm not going to put it out. We'll come up with something else. But the lists in general and how we formatted them, they are a lot of fun. And I really, really think the best part about that is hearing the feedback we get from you guys on them, just hearing what your recommendations are, your suggestions are, what you would have done, because like that makes that so rewarding on my side, Luke's side, and obviously your guys' side. So that, I think, we're going to make a mainstay on the channel here from here on out. We're going to do our best to keep those going. As well as, again, we're going to keep looking into smaller independent films. So that's something that's always been a thing on here. We're going to keep doing that. We have a lot of great relationships with a lot of little studios that love to send us screeners and interviews. So we're going to keep that up. But the other thing that we're really going to be pushing on here is this monthly what we're going to be reviewing kind of list, where it's like, whether it's 5 movies, 4 movies, 10 movies. I'm going to do my best, and I know Luke's going to hop in there. We're going to maybe rotate every couple months where we're just going to sit down and talk about what's to come for the month of July, August, September. We're just going to keep doing that because I think like the amount of love that video got just response wise was really eye-opening, and a lot of people thanking us for doing that. And I know that's like a common thing on YouTube. A lot of people do it, but I mean, if we have an audience that's hungry for it, then I want to do it. Because again, I liked it. I had a lot of fun. It was really laid back. It was really simple, and I didn't have to rack my brain and feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm just talking about horror movies. And I know that's something that Luke had pitched an idea for a show like that at the beginning of the year. And, we kind of just threw it into motion randomly. And hey, that's where we're at now.
Yeah, and I think the beauty about that is since starting the channel, we've become aware of so many smaller properties out there that we sort of flew under our radar for years upon years until, it became a bigger talking point. But, now, like Dylan said, we've developed these relationships with a lot of different studios that are pushing these smaller independent films, and a lot of them are great, so it's really opened up our eyes. And yeah, people do those lists of what's coming out in the month, but like Dylan did to start here, we had Long Legs. Everyone knew about Long Legs. Everyone knew about Maxine. But to really shine the spotlight on those smaller films that would fly under a lot of people's radar, and kind of just, put them out there and say, this does look interesting. This is what this film has to offer. This is who's attached to it, and what it's kind of about. I think people will really appreciate that to start the month, to say, in 2 weeks, I have this to look forward to. And it's not just about what's playing at your Cinemark or your Regal. It's about these smaller films that are showing up on streaming services or just VOD, and what you can really take away from that. So I think, that's something that I know if I wasn't on YouTube, that's something that I would be searching out and really intrigued by if I ran across it. So, to bring that to an audience, to say, hey, you can check out the channel at the beginning of the month and say, this is what you might look forward to, and it might not have been on your radar. I think that's going to be something that is going to be invaluable for a lot of people.
100%. And a big piece of that also comes to stuff that we're going to be able to see super early because of you guys. Obviously, with us having a bit of a following, obviously opportunities open up. And one of those opportunities, of course, we're going to be celebrating starting today, which is the very first day. Officially, they started last night technically, but today is the first day of Fantasia, which is a awesome genre film festival. It is something that, for those of you who don't know, isn't just horror. It's kind of like Fantastic Fest. You get a little bit of thriller, a little bit of comedy mixed in there, but a lot of really great foreign and independent horror films show up at this festival, and then we'll show up at other festivals later on down the road. We are participating remotely, obviously, because we didn't drive or fly to Quebec, otherwise, because we couldn't be doing this right now if we were. But we do have a nice long list of films, and honestly, we've been talking the last couple days. We're surprised at some of the titles we were able to get, and we just wanted to give you guys a heads up of what to expect over the next couple weeks. So we're going to be kicking things off, and this is not going to be like a loose, like a we're not telling you what order these are coming in, but we're going to have films like Cryptic, Soul Eater, Hellhole, which is the new Addams Family production. They were the ones who did Hellbender and Where the Devil Roams, Cuckoo, Hunting Days, Black-Eyed Susan, and of course Dark Match, which is one that Luke has very much been looking forward to. And that's just a handful. We have a few more things kind of out in the ether that we're waiting for responses on, and there are a couple more that we have access to. We just don't want to bite off more than we can chew, so we're going to do our best to get these out for you guys. But yeah, that's another opportunity we got, all because you guys are watching the stuff we're making. And I mean, I really don't know what more to say than just thank you, because seriously, like, if we were just sitting here making all this stuff and like nobody was responding or watching or commenting, I don't know, like, I just feel like we'd be like treading water at this point and being like, man, I guess that's it, we'll just give up on it. But like, the fact that you guys like our videos, comment on our videos, it's just the most humbling thing in the world. Seriously, it makes me excited, it makes me happy to do this. I look forward to making videos all the time because of the response we get. And to shoot up this fast to 5K, there's a part of me that feels like it's almost unearned. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we were on such a constant slow path for so long. It feels like it hasn't fully sunk in yet, that it's like, wow, like, that happened. That's insane.
Yeah. And anyone who does makes YouTube videos, I'm sure you're aware of the peaks and valleys that you go through. One moment you're getting subscribers hand over fist, and then the next minute just slows down, and then you're not necessarily sure what to do, and you got to try and find something that your audience is going to like, but it's such a guessing game because you really don't know. But to get here and to get those opportunities like Fantasia, and to be able to see those films earlier than usual, and to be able to get up those reviews and start discussing them with subscribers, and people who just run past our videos and then become subscribers. I think in our long-winded video here, I would say that at the bottom line is that we can't thank you enough for tuning into the videos that we do, and sharing your thoughts on the content that we create, because it gives us motivation to sit down after a long night of editing and throwing that video up and thinking about what's next, and
Yeah.
not having that. I mean, you always have that fear, but of
Yeah.
what's going to hit and what's not. But to know that an audience is going to find it. There are subscribers, there are people out there that are interested in what you do. So it keeps us going. It's giving us opportunities that we can't thank you enough for, because what, 2 years ago that was not here. It didn't exist. So again, just thank you. Our appreciation of you is more than you know. We talk about it even when we're not recording. So this just isn't a video of blowing smoke at all. It's always on our minds, and my gosh, just such a humbling experience, like Dylan said.
Yeah, I mean, it's seriously like we're kind of trying to figure out before we record this how this was going to go. We said 5 minute short video, 15 minutes in, and it's like, yeah, this is where we're at. But no, I think that it's just coming from us genuinely and just from the heart. We're a very long-winded pair. We can't keep anything under 20 minutes, it seems, no matter how hard we try. But I mean, that's just what we do, and we're happy that you guys watch it and appreciate it and think that we're pretty cool for doing it, because honestly, like, the coolest part is just talking back to you guys and getting to talk about horror movies and maybe have a sense that we know a little bit of what we're talking about, because we don't. So we just like talking about the shit. So that's where we sit at. But yeah, guys, that's all of the updates for now. We did just again want to cement that we have seen the shift. We know what you guys are looking for, at least for now. But we're not going to stop experimenting. We have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that we're going to keep doing. But as long as you guys suggest or let's just keep giving us feedback and let us know what you like, what you don't like we're going to do it. And I know some people have mentioned memberships and Patreon. And that will come with time, as I've said many times before, and Luke has said whenever we do these updates, we don't want to give you guys content you have to pay for until we feel like we can present it and give it to you on a frequent basis. Consistent, because right now, with us both still working full time and with us just doing this is like our night job. We're doing videos constantly, but it's up and down, lots of long days. I do not want to be like, oh, pay us extra money or pay us out of your own pocket for something that we just can't deliver on, because I would hate myself for doing that. I'd literally have anxiety. Luke would be freaking out. It'd be a terrible, terrible time. So once we can get there, I promise we will. And until then, everything we do is going to be free, and we're going to keep that going for you guys. So keep on commenting. Let us know what you guys like. And thank you once again. And I think that is going to wrap it up. I think that's everything. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here and keep groveling and saying thank you, because I'm still, like I said, I'm still in shock. I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy. So, alrighty, guys. Fantasia, super exciting. Lots to come. And yeah, stay tuned for Sunday, because Cosmic Horror, that's the one that's coming out. Cosmic Horror List. I'm excited. I wrote that one a couple weeks ago. I am so ready to discuss all these spooky, slimy films. So, alrighty, I'll catch you guys later. Until next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
And I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, stay scared.
Do the horror shit, gonna do it live, cause SplatterCast kick it every day they live. SplatterCast, gonna smash your ass. 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 Splattercast, gonna smash your ass.